Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer and I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the link of the site, and the Tier 2 blue emote. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you would prefer to lurk and not say anything, that's also cool. I want to say hi to Harold and the Arctic Sloth who are here. Welcome, welcome. Happy to have both of you subscribers here. Mr. Bob is here. Hello, Mr. Bob. Mr. Bob, you've been around a little bit lately. It's been very nice. Happy to see you. Welcome. Excited to see so many lovely folks here in chat. Lord Crashin is here. Lashbrook is here. Aristophan is here. Holy shit! I am legitimately blessed with so many regulars that are here. It's so kind of you to spend some of your Monday night with me, your friend Pat, as I work on a new model kit. We're working on the TR-1 Hazel 2 high grade. Now, if you're like, Pat, I know a lot of Gundams. Is this from one of those shows I didn't watch? No, it's from one of those mangas you didn't read. It is from the Hazel is from, like, and then the Hazel 2 is the upgrade. They're from a manga that I can't remember the name of, so I apologize. But I think it's a photo. It's one of them photo magazine mangas. Wristfan says, I was happy to come an hour early. Yeah. Daylight savings time can wreck us all. At 7 p.m. Eastern this evening, I prepared myself to indulge in one of my favorite Monday activities, the YouTube premiere of the latest episode of AEW's Dark Elevation, one of their YouTube shows. And unfortunately, it was not ready to go. And it took, I would say, about like 10 minutes before it suddenly premiered. Like, my assumption is they set the premiere time before daylight savings, so before yesterday, and it just didn't update. Somebody goofed somewhere, and then eventually, like, 10, 15 minutes in, it did just start, and I have to wait till 8 p.m. That's the first time that I've run into something like that. I imagine we will have some of our international friends out there making appearances going like, wait, what's happening? Why is it, what's going on? And not understanding that our goofy times have changed. And then also, if you are in the part of the country that does not deal with the time changes, there are a few people out there that have that. You have to then deal with the fact that other people's time has changed. It's weird. Fancy picture Gundams, indeed. Anyway, we're going to work on the Hazel 2. It's part of like the whole Titans thing where it's like Gundams, but they have a cool dark blue color to them. So we'll be dealing with some lovely dark blue. We won't have much, we won't have really too much panel line to do because black isn't going to, we'll look at it, but I don't think black's going to show up too well on this. And then there is some just plain black, which is great looking. We got some yellow. We will use some markers on that. And then we do have some gray pieces. So we can use black on that, and that'll look good. So this is based on the Hazel model kit with some extra parts. Happy to work on it. It was on my wish list. I ended up just picking it up myself because I was interested in the kit. And the price was good. So I picked it up. I'm going to retweet my tweet so we can get a few more friends to join us on this lovely evening here. And we'll get into some model kit construction. I do want to start with this. If you were here on Saturday, the question was posed. Can you put any old torso on the gun tank? And the answer is not everyone, but some kits, yes. So let's go to the overhead here, and we can see that I have put the top half of the RX-782 USA type, which is or America type, the USA type, I can't remember. This is the entry grade version of this kit, the Target exclusive from Gundam Breaker Battlelog. It is just a repaint and a resticker. But I had it on hand and it fits. And it's not wobbly. It fits in there good. So you can put a different torso on the gun tank, which is silly in a way that I appreciate. America type on a gun tank. What are the odds, right? Aristophan, it felt appropriate. Now, obviously, a heavy arms would also feel appropriate on a tank treads. but I didn't want to take apart any of my heavy arms to find out if it would fit right. I didn't want to do that with any heavy arms. Even though I do have a heavy arms back there, I didn't want to take that apart and risk damaging it, because you do have to separate like the waist from the torso, and that can be a problem because those are not necessarily meant to be easily separated. So I did it with this. It's very silly in a way that I thought was fun. And there you go. Oh, we'll look like that. That's a good angle for it. And I kept the gun because that felt nice. Now it has, at least has a weapon, and it can pivot a little bit here. It's not perfect, but it does work out. So that was and it popped out there on the other part. So you can see I had to put the waist there instead of just doing the torso. Then pop that on there. Sorry, we can pop that over here. We don't need that anymore. I wanted to show it off on stream because I didn't have within arm's reach a good kit to go on there on Saturday. Now we'll get fully into working on this. So one thing I want to say about this kit is it's 2006. Some of the parts are 2005 because the Hazel was 2005. Hazel 2 was 2006. What a weird sequence of assembly this kit has. They would like me to build the chest, the head, the gun, the shield, the other shield. It has two different shields. And then the arms, and then, and then and then the feet, and then the legs, and then the waist, and then you put it all together. And then you build the backpack, and the backpack is the last thing that you put together. That's so fucking weird. That's so weird. They're like, you know what this kit needs? You'll need the gun. Well, let's have to build the gun. And of course, you'll need the shields. Before you have the arms, you'll put together the shield. Doesn't make any sense. It's bonkers. Very weird. Very strange choice. Anyway. That stood out to me. But let's start with working the chest. Dustin just subscribed for 23 months saying, I built this kit last year. Pretty good. I love the color scheme. All right, let's hit the old Bear Cave Lego site emote in the chat. Thank Dustin Forster for subscribing. We appreciate you very much for that. Thank you for renewing your subscription with Prime for 23 months. That's so many months. Appreciate that very, very much. And of course, thank you for using Prime, using your Prime gaming token. Yeah, I love the color scheme of all of the Titans. We've done a little bit of that. We've done some of the like Zaku's in the Titan colors, which I appreciate. And I think we've done a Mach 2 or Mach 3 Titan before. So I do really enjoy this color scheme like you do. Yeah, I think this kit like is going to be a totally all right build. I'm not like expecting it to be like the best build of my life, but you know, I am looking forward to putting it together. Let's see, we need 2 of these. We need A25. All right, so we'll do that. I hope everyone's doing excellent out there on the old internet. I'm doing all right. This has been a fine Monday. Had a meeting today for a thing that hopefully will turn out good. Got some news that was like mixed about another project that I keep waiting to hear more about. I keep like waiting for this project to become a thing that would then make me money. No, that has not worked out. The Discord that I am in for the Plastic Model Weekender, the upcoming Plastic Model Weekender, we just invited the people who are new this year. So now that Discord is way more lively because we keep it open year round, and there are some people that use it consistently, but now we're getting an influx of some new people, including the Gunpla sisters. I want to give them a shout out. Have I watched any of their streams? No, but I was just introduced to the concept of their Twitch. The Gunpla sisters are real life sisters. One who likes to build model kits, the other who prefers to paint them, which is a great combination. And for their 2 hours during the Plastic Model Weekender, they will be working on the same kit. One pre-built, one about to be assembled. So you can watch someone paint a kit while the other sister is assembling that same kit. And that is very fucking cool. Also, the idea of family that builds and works on Gunpla together touches my heart. And I really enjoy that. Yeah, it's sweet. Lord Crashton says, we had wet snow falling all day today. That's a lot of fucking wet snow. And Dustin says, I thought the decals were water slides at first. They turned out to be stickers with clear backgrounds. Yes, this kit has regular stickers and just clear background stickers. So they're not decap. They're not slides. They're not water slides or dry transfers. They just have a clear background. And they come separately because of that clear, which is cool. Different, but cool. We actually might apply some of these because they're neat. They're cool looking stickers. So we might actually take a look at that. But yeah, some family in there. And of course, Bon and Tom, Skeletom and Bon Clay. I really appreciate them. They are a couple of VTubers and they build together. And that's lovely. And they'll be building together on stream as well. One of them just basically has their webcam on and the other one just has like a static. They just trade. And I think that's a fun solution so that the software isn't picking up like both of them move around. That is their solution to being in the same room as VTubers. There's a bunch of people. There are going to be a bunch of people I've never heard of and I don't know. It looks like people have been building for a while. We got more VTubers this year than previous years combined, which is rad. Love that. It seems like more and more VTubers are feeling okay about doing crafting on stream, and that's great. Lovely to hear that is happening. So yeah, so I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, like I said, it's getting lively in that Discord, and that's nice. It's nice to see that get lively. Okay, so this is gonna go in like this. Cool. Let's see other things. All right, we'll get into some wrestling talk here. There are reports out there that Bray Wyatt is off TV. And will not be participating in WrestleMania. Now, there are indications by some outlets that he is having creative issues, and that is fine, you know what, if you don't like any of this, we're just not going to use you. There is talk that it is a personal issue, perhaps a physical issue with Bray Wyatt. He did not wrestle at a house show this weekend. That he was scheduled to appear at and advertised to appear at Madison Square Garden. The Madison Square Garden house shows are generally well attended by performers and usually a fairly big deal. So it is odd to have him no-show that event. And I don't want to speculate on a man's health, certainly. Although some of the media reports were also that it was a creative thing. And that is, my own personal feelings are that I have been in my life a Bray Wyatt defender. I think that he does cool, interesting stuff. I think that Bray Wyatt needs an editor, not a yes or no man. And by that I mean, Bray Wyatt has a lot of great ideas, but he feels like he's vibes, if that makes any sense. He feels like he's like, okay, so this happens, and then like we could do this. And it's like, great, but why? And where does it lead to? And who does it affect? And who are you going to wrestle in 6 months? I saw that Bray is a later DLC edition for the new WWE game, which seems weird for a bigger name. So, Lord Crashton, you gotta understand, nobody thought he would ever come back to the company. So it wasn't. So my assumption is he wasn't in the previous game. That's not something that the devs were anticipating, right? I mean, people on the roster, like consistent people on the roster, sometimes don't get on the show on the game. So the fact that he's DLC at all is a good thing, because yeah, I'm sure they were not. I'm sure it was like, wait, Bray Wyatt's back? Okay. I think they're mostly concerned with the fights that they often end up having to get into of like hey, we did a lot of work on this person you released, so they're just in the game, I guess. Like Tony Storm. She's like, yep, yeah, well, we did the work. Keep him in there. So the thing with Bray Wyatt, as I said, is that, in my opinion, he needs someone. Not don't do this, do that. Yeah, sure, this seems good. He needs someone to go, okay, well, what are we trying to do with that? Okay, and what do you want to accomplish with this? And, all right, let's write a game plan. Now, supposedly, the WWE did hire someone to be like their storybook guy, to write, come up with the big ideas, the continuity. He's a continuity person. To be like, okay, this is what we want to do, and we can remember this and this. This is the thing we want to get to, and then it's up to the performers and the writers and the match producers to get to that point. My assumption is that person does not get either not good at their job, or more likely stuck in unable to do their actual job. They are being prevented from doing it. It's one of the two. Because the continuity stuff, especially for Bray Wyatt, just doesn't make sense, and I don't think it ever will make sense. Because I said this. I'm a Bray Wyatt defender because I think Bray Wyatt does spooky, cool, weird shit in wrestling, and I like weird shit in wrestling. I like my wrestling to have some weird to it. I like my wrestling to be, I like great matches in the ring, but I also like big characters and strange characters. I like a show where you don't have every single person just being, hi, my name is blank blank, and I'm a good wrestler. And my character gimmick is, I'm a good wrestler. There are too many of those people. We got too many of those. If you're like, hey, I'm Bray Wyatt, and I'm a cult leader. Cool. Okay. Now the weirdness inside of me is taken over, and I am possessed. Okay. And also, in trying to fight that, I try to get into the good inside of me. So I host a kids talk show. Great. Or a kids programming. Great. But sometimes I turn into the monster that's inside of me. Okay. I'm not really doing that right now. I'm more just like a good, strong wrestler that's weird, and I have a tag team partner that people really like. Okay. I'm going to go away for a while. Yeah, probably for the best. Oh, I corrupted somebody, and then she turned on me. That's weird. Hey, Dirty, welcome. It's like, okay. I'm back now. And I'm sorry for what I did, and I'm sorry for who I am, and I'm going to give not shoot promos, but I'm definitely going to give promos that are a little bit more closer to who I am as a real person, but they'll still be weird. Great. Okay. Hey, there's a manifestation of the monster inside of me that's new, and he's around. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he's here, and he's mean, and Vectroid just raided with a party of 42? Fuck yeah, what's up? What's up? Ra was streaming for quite some time. We're happy to have Ra here. What's up, Raiders? I'm Pat Baer. If you don't recognize me from perhaps Ra's chat, because I'm a mod, you may know me from the internet, making comedy videos and doing some PAX panels back when there wasn't a pandemic, and various other nonsense things. Thank you for the follow. Doing online. I'm glad you're doing some online. I build model kits and Lego sets, and then on Tuesdays I play video games or do some other nonsense. That's my whole thing. Why isn't this fitting right? I'm also trying to figure out why this doesn't want to fit in properly. It doesn't, and I don't know why. So that's fun. That's always fun when something just doesn't work quite right, and you're like, but what if you did? What if you... there we go. I got it. Don't even worry about it. It's fine. But yeah, hit the follow button if you'd like some model kit stuff, some anime talk, wrestling talk, various shenanigans, video game talk, that kind of stuff. We don't get as rowdy and weird as shit as you may be accustomed to with Rara, because that's not my vibe. My vibe is adjacent to chaos, but not chaos. I don't necessarily have that. I'll say this: if things start getting real weird in here, it was unintentional. I was not expecting it to get real weird. If it does, oh, you let them know not to expect the same tone. Well, thank you. And usually when we raid you, I let people know, hey, Rara is doing this. It's going to be weird. Or maybe it is. Maybe it's going to be music. Or it's going to be like some old footage of stuff. Or Rara's like exploring some VR shenanigans. Like, yeah, you want to... Yeah, it's important to give people context. I try to give context when I raid anyone. Because sometimes people are like, "Oh, the vibe has changed, and I don't know if I'm set up for that." And sometimes people are just like, "Oh, this sounds like exactly what I want to check out." You know, we get rated sometimes on Thursdays by Puppet Jared. Puppet Jared is a VTuber as well. Good night, Harold. I'll see you soon. Thanks for stopping in for some of the stream. Puppet Jared is my buddy Jake Young, and he, for Dorkly and College Humor, used to voice a puppet, and now he has made a VTuber out of that, and he watches old terrible cartoons, and the vibe shift from old terrible cartoons with a VTuber puppet to what I do here is so weird, and I'm kind of fascinated by it. Just being like, yeah, let's watch like this nonsense, and then like, hey, what's Pat doing today? Oh, Pat's working on a Lego set. We're gonna just jump into that shenanigans. It's very fun to imagine. Yeah, Jared is great. He's very knowledgeable about nonsense, and Jake is a very funny guy, very good stand-up and writer of a lot of stuff. People that might know the old days of Drawfee, back when they were still a College Humor entity and worked in an office. Jared would, before they got their own space to record, they would just record in their office. And Jake Young would make appearances for them to do shenanigans for that, which he always did a great job with. What we got going on here? Melty is giving me a follow. Appreciate that. Thank you, Melty. So what is... Okay, that goes like that, and that just rests in there. Okay, I think that just rests in there. All right. This is a kit that is new to me. It is from the year 2006. It's based on a manga, and that's always fun. Because there are Gundam manga. There are, I will say this, really good model kits based on designs that only exist in manga form of Gundams that fucking kick ass. The Crossbone Gundam is one of my favorite Gundams, period, and that is exclusive to the manga. The Crossbone Gundam is a fucking space pirate Gundam. It's got a skull and crossbones on it. That's why it's crossbones. It's one of the coolest Gundams that exists. And I love that it's just like, yeah, that's from a manga. Like, people are like, which Gundam anime is that? And I'm just like, it's not. Justice for Watermelon Cop. Holy shit. Bedroom Punk dropping a very old reference. That's so wild. Thank you, Bedroom Punk. For everybody, fucking everybody else, Watermelon Police Officer, who was then later renamed Watermelon Cop, which is probably a better name. The Chris Gethard Show, which has appeared on 2 networks and also was a public access show that Chris Gethard did. They did an annual event called New Characters, where they came up with a bunch of, probably, I would argue, bad character names. And then they invited friends to come in and write those characters and perform those characters. And then some of the characters ended up becoming part of the lore. The only blue life that mattered. Indeed. And I received the name after saying, yes, I would be happy to do this. Thank you for inviting me. I received the name Watermelon Police Officer. And I decided that Watermelon Police Officer was a police officer that only dealt with crimes that involved watermelon. So I brought in like a quarter of, or a half watermelon that I had bought at the grocery store, and I put it on a stool, and then I was like I was interviewing this watermelon, and then I was wearing like a suit, and I had like a badge like around my neck, to be like cop detective, and I got to say lines like, "I want to find who did this," and like, "I'm here to help you," to a watermelon. And then somebody, when we were wrapping it up, somebody poked the watermelon, and Chris was like, "You gonna do anything about that?" And I was just like, "It's not my jurisdiction." And I got a good laugh, and then I was done. And then I never did it again. I reappeared one day for sandwich night as in my suit, and I had watermelon with me as a deep cut. That was very fun that they invited me to do that. Vinegar Al is clearly the best character because it was just a great weirdo being a great weirdo. There were some really terrible ones over the years, but Vinegar Al was great. Some real good terrible characters there. Deep Watermelon Cut, yes. Chris Gethard show is phenomenal. There is an entire episode where there is something happening and no one is aware of what is happening. There's someone hidden and they don't know who it is. And that person is hidden for the entire episode, and it's wild. There is an episode that is a wrestling match with real wrestlers like Rhino and X-Pac. Facing off against not real wrestlers, like John Hamm in one of those like inflatable sumo suits. That's a real thing that happened. I'm not lying to you. That's a real episode that aired on television, True TV, but it aired on television. That show was bonkers in a way that I really always appreciated. They just went for it. Very good nonsense. Also, that wrestling episode, I am in the audience. If you ever track that down, I am dressed as my comedy wrestling character. Unfortunately, also a police officer. I did 2 cop-related characters. These are the wrong pieces. No, these are the right pieces. Yeah. Okay. These are the right pieces. And then I need G9 and G10. But that was Beach Cop. He's a cop that works the beach, but he works the Coney Island boardwalk, so it's not that big of a deal. He doesn't do a lot of cop stuff. That was there. That was that nonsense that I had there. That was my wrestling character, Beach Cop. But yeah, I'm in the audience for that wrestling show because it was wild. And later, I was at the after party after that episode, hanging out and talking to people, and I got introduced to Rhino, and I got to say this phrase: "Hey Rhino, thanks for looking out for John Hamm." I don't know John Hamm. I met him after this, like a couple years after this. I had met him, but I didn't know John Hamm. But I just knew that if John Hamm had gotten seriously hurt, that it would be bad for my friends who worked on that show. So I was just making sure to do my due diligence to thank Rhino for not injuring John Hamm. Because that would have been bad. I mean, it was a TV show. It probably had some insurance, but I don't think it had enough insurance for the nonsense that was being there. I'm sure they didn't. I'm sure they got like cleared to do it, but not. I don't know if John Hamm got cleared to do wrestling. That's all I'm saying. Do you have a favorite Gundam series? I'm only dipping into the 0079 arc. So, my first favorite Gundam series is Wing Gundam. I love Wing Gundam because it's my first Gundam. It's the best, and I love it. Is it my actual favorite? No. My actual favorite is Iron Blooded Orphans, because Iron Blooded Orphans sets out to do what a lot of Gundam series won't do, which is talk about the fact that the main characters are fucking children, and they're child soldiers, and how fucked that is. Not every series remembers to tackle that part. A lot of them do. Don't worry about it. G-Witch is doing that shit, and it's good for it. But not every series would take the time to be like, oh, also, this is fucked. Like, Gundam Wing, at no point do these old men who they regret making the Gundams, to the point that they have started their, the colonies are fighting back. But at no point are they like, we're definitely bummed 15-year-olds have to solve our problems for us. Like, that does not come up enough. That it's like, hey, this is bad. What's happening here is bad. There's just not enough of that. For my liking, I should say. I don't know how this part fits in right, because it doesn't seem to want to fit in right. It just pops in like that, huh? I don't know. It doesn't seem right. I think I'm missing something with this chest piece, because it doesn't seem to want to stay. I'll find out later, but we're okay right now. Children is more than one way. Yes, Arctic Sloth. You're not wrong. Is Iron Blooded Orphans a perfect piece of media? No. Does media have to be perfect? Also, no. Are there a few things in Iron Blooded Orphans that do, like, kind of take away from the message they're trying to give because it's a little sloppy in parts? Yeah. But overall, I think it's a great series that I've never had a problem recommending. Because I do think that, yeah, even though my first love is Wing Gundam, or Gundam Wing, I should say, I think my favorite is probably Iron Blooded Orphans. Watching Witcher Mercury and this universe, also not super concerned about what 15-year-olds are doing. Totally, Mr. Bob. There's like the idea that these young people can settle their entire futures based on one mobile suit fight seems wrong. It seems like there should be, well, look, there are adults around. It's just that most of those adults are scheming or murderous or only have revenge on their mind. And maybe it would be great if there were a few adults there that were just like, hey, are y'all learning math too? Like, maybe just a couple people just checking in on the whole, like, what's up? Just like seeing what you're all into and up to. It'd probably pretty good if they had a couple people just like looking out for their best interests. I think that would be pretty sweet. All right, so 5 and 6 here. How do these fit in? Does that seem right? Gonna look at this chest in photos, because there's some good photos on here. Oh, this is fun. I can't actually see these parts because of the way this kit is put together. Oh, no, they just look like they're... Okay. All right, yeah, so I'm doing this wrong, I think. That's fun. Oh, okay, it's supposed to go like that. Got it. Sorry, this was not super clear. These instructions are not the clearest instructions that I have ever seen. I will say that. The 2000s are a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to instruction manuals, where like sometimes it's just like, oh yeah, this makes sense, and other times it's just like, what do you want from me on this step? So I occasionally will be confused while building a kit, and I think that's fine. I think that's okay. All right. And that is the chest, which means it's now time to do some panel lining. We'll need a little bit of black here. Not a lot to panel line on this kit. We'll do the vents here on the chest, and we'll do these parts on the shoulder. But we really don't have to do much here. We're just going to use our black marker, hit some lines. Thank you for the follow, Bedroom Punk. Appreciate that. We were talking a little bit about wrestling before we got our raid. I can check some wrestling news here, see if there's anything in the world of wrestling that I want to talk about here. Let's see. Some people talked about some stuff. There's a cease and desist letter going out there because some ladies are referring themselves as the Queen of Hardcore. And Francine, ECW star, and short-term WCW or WWE star, is just like, hey, people have been calling me that since like the 90s, so maybe don't. And I think that's totally reasonable to be like, hey, like. Also, she goes to great length to be like, look, the ladies are talented. They're great. They don't need, like, Lita does not need to use that phrase for us to believe that she's awesome. But, like, Queen of Extreme is my thing. And I don't think that's unreasonable for her to say. So, she's looking to get that trademarked. And then she'll, do the lawyer shit. I think that is totally reasonable. We talked about Bray Wyatt. We don't know what's going on with that. Big E gave an update. I have not read this article. I'm going to check this article right now. Here on this stream, we love Big E Langston, and we hope he does well. Freak accident injury, unfortunately, for Big E. So we wish him well, and we hope that he has a speedy recovery. He's up to doing, like, promotional stuff. He's been around for some stuff. He hasn't returned to the ring or anything, but he's out and about. He's traveling a little bit, which is great. And yeah, nothing but love for Big E Langston. Now Kofi's injured. Yes, it sounds like Kofi is not having a long-term injury, but he is out for a while. That was unfortunately another freak accident. It's just when big men do dives and land on a bunch of people, unfortunately, sometimes that can, they land in a weird spot. And it just, that is unfortunately what happened there. It just landed, Drew McIntyre just landed on Kofi in such a way that Kofi is hurt because of that. He's going, it looks like Big E is getting some neck surgery coming up. Right now, before I know anything, I'm not going to make rushed judgments. Let's see how everything looks. No anxiety. Everything is in permanent. If it comes to an end, cool. If it doesn't, cool. What will be, will be. That is a very smart and measured response to that, of just being like, hey, I'm going to get surgery. If I can go back into the ring, I'll go back to the ring. If this is it, then that's it. Of course, I would love for Big E to get back in the ring. And I hope he is able to, but if he is not, then, if he's made peace with it, it's like, sure. We got to put our eye stickers on here. We got to get our eye stickers on this. This is always a tricky thing with some of these kits, because I'm never quite sure if they know where they want me to put the eyes. So we'll get those on there and then see how it looks. I'm just using X-Acto blade here, and then we'll hold the piece and then kind of line up where it should go. I don't have the steadiest hand in the world, but I do have some experience with stickers, so shouldn't be too bad to then just line it up properly here. This is being frustrating. That's always a bummer. Oops. I said I have some experience, and I do, but also sometimes that doesn't mean anything. Sometimes experience doesn't get the job done. You just have to be frustrated a little bit. Okay. Also, apparently, according to Rich Holland, and then backed up by Austin Creed, aka Xavier Woods, he gets a lot of shit. Rich Holland obviously did not mean to injure Big E, and he gets a whole lot of apparently real garbage from it, which is a shame. I know people are unhappy that honestly people are fucking unhappy that Big E got injured, but that's wasn't a malicious attack or anything. It's like, come on. No need to threaten a man's family just because of what happened. All right, so this sticker just does not want to go on easy enough, which is, yeah, it's totally shitty, Mr. Bob. Because, there are workers out there that really work, that really do the job unsafe. Rich Holland is not considered one of those people. The fact that Kofi and Xavier Woods continue to work with him should be a good indication of how they feel about it. And that's, yeah. Like focus on feeling bad for Big E and less on trying to put pressure on calling for a man's job. Like, come on. All right. The sticker is on. There's a little bit of ridge that sticks up here. Speaking of ridges. All right. This sticker did not want to go on well. It did not want to go on easy. I don't know if it will stay on. But right now it is on. So we can say that. And then I can take my part separator here. And I am just going to press down a little bit on it. Just try to get... Oops. No, that came up. Fuck. Wow. I mean, the thing is, you want the eye stickers to look good because, they stand out. They're a little bit of color on what is otherwise a pretty dark kit. So, all right, that looks okay. That should dry in it here and look all right. It's not the best job I've ever done of putting a sticker on. But maybe it'll stay better once I put on the other parts of the kit, right? The other parts of the head. So we'll attach the other parts of the head there, and then hopefully that'll look good. Other things about wrestling. Is there anything else in the world of wrestling we want to talk about here? No. All right. There is speculation about who on Wednesday night Jade Cargill from AEW is going to be wrestling, because she said that she wants Canada's best. So it will be there. They are in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and so she is had an open challenge for her title to any Canadian. There, and of course there is speculation. The Bunny is a Canadian wrestler already on. She's faced Jade Cargill, so that might not be necessarily the best call for that. And then outside the company, there's a bunch of people that have been named. Taya Valkyrie has recently concluded her deal with Impact Wrestling, so she is a very likely candidate. And it would make sense that she would come in and lose to Jade, and it wouldn't really hurt her too much. It would still feel like a big deal, as opposed to like the one night only people that it might be. But also, it looks like the Bunny is injured right now. So, and there's some people that are already still signed to Impact. There's some people that are signed to NWA, but the NWA thing could certainly happen there. And then people were like, well, what if it's Lufisto? Apparently, it looks like Lufisto. It should be Lufisto, and then she should get hired by AEW to be a coach, because Lufisto is an incredible indie wrestler. She fucking kicks ass. It would be huge. She's well known in Canada, and her work in Canada. She's in the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame, deservedly, and definitely looking to kind of relax a little bit. I would love it for me to her. I think Jody Threat is someone that they seem to really like, who Jody Threat was the wrestler that was going very hard against Athena, that a lot of people thought Athena was attacking, but apparently that is not the case. And so that would be a very good opponent. Give it Jody Threat another stage. Also, her name is fucking Jody Threat. It's just a good damn name. All right, I got more stickers to put on. Unfortunately, I got 2 more stickers to go on this the head part here, but I don't have to worry about the face. There are no stickers on the face part. So, because it is a Gundam, so it has to have the front and back cameras that also need to be stickers for some reason. They always need to be stickers. Not always, but definitely in a high grade sense. So yeah, a lot of names to be thrown out. Yeah, maybe Rosemary from Impact, although they don't really have the best working relationship with Impact right now. Like, yeah, I don't know. For me, I would love for it to be Lufisto. I think that would be rad. She had 1 match in Elevation last year, so it would be cool if that was her. And that's the person I'm pushing for, because I think she will give a good match to Jade. Some good competition, which Jade definitely needs. All right, so I got to put a front sticker on here and then a back sticker. So we'll do that. Got to figure out where these stickers are on the sheet. And then the eye sticker was fucking very easy. It's very clear what sticker is supposed to go there. All right, is that one? Otherwise, I have to use symbols, which is, I don't know what they mean. So then I have to stare at it for a while. Also, it being an eye sticker, the eye sticker, this is not hard to recognize. Oops. Okay. We got it on. That sticker was way easier to put on, and then we have to do the head sticker here, or the forehead into the back sticker, which is this one. That's very easy to recognize what it's supposed to be. And then just bends. And then bends down. And then folds. I don't really like bendy stickers, but that was pretty easy, because there's just a ridge for it to go into. And then I am just using my X-Acto blade to press down to hold it in place. And then hopefully it will adhere to the plastic when it dries out. Like a sticker should. All right. And I can use the back of the blade to press down as well. And then it should just stick on there and look pretty good. And then we can throw that on the front of this kit. This dark blue, we're not going to hit with any marker, because the black marker is really not going to pop on it anyway. But there will be other spots to use a little bit of it. So we'll do that. And then we need B26 and A13. A13, easy to find on here. Let's do that. And then B26 is this here. We'll get it assembled, and then we'll take a look at it and see if I want to do some customizing. Because the V-fins, the top of our head here, they do have safety points on the end. It's kind of hard to see. But yeah, you can see that's not sharp there. There's a little nubbin. And I often like to try to trim those. And sometimes I do too good job of trimming. So I have to be careful about that. But we'll attach it to the head and then take a look and see if we want to get in there and do some work. Okay, so it's got to go like that. There, whoops. I put too much pressure on it, and it just popped right off. put the head on first. The head part on first. Okay. Head part on. Then put on our fins. Look at this. V-fin on. And then the part that locks it in place. On. Done. Looking good. All right, so I think I can, using my nippers here, trim this into a proper V-fin. I have to try to do it pretty carefully here. Like that. All right. I could do this with a knife, with the X-Acto knife. I'm using my nippers here. And just removing some of it at a time. That's not perfect, but it is better. Let's see here that it's let's see. This one still has the little nubbin on it. This one doesn't have the nubbin on it. I think it just looks cleaner that way. So got it. Great. It is now sharper, but that's fine because I'm not a child. And then we place the head on, and then this piece keeps popping off. So this part of the chest keeps popping off. I don't know why. I am putting it on properly. It should just lock in there and then just be fine, but it doesn't want to be. So I'm going to put it back in there. The next time it pops out, I will grab my liquid cement and I will make it stay, which I don't like to do. Look, if I can avoid it, I will never, if possible, I will never use liquid cement on a plastic kit like this. That to me feels like it's a snap kit. It should be fine. I shouldn't have to do that. But on occasion, you just gotta. All right, now, we did the head, we did the chest. You're like, great, let's work on to the arms or the legs, right? No. Now we jump to, for no fucking apparent reason, we jump to doing the weapons, both guns that are in this kit. I don't know why we do, but we do. So let's build the guns. And while we do that, I'm going to take a look over at Kotaku for some news stuff. Hey, I'm just going to put this out there, friends. I know none of you have done this, but please be advised that the Studio Ghibli theme park would prefer that you not take lewd photos. There are some statues of some characters from Ghibli movies, some ladies, and there are apparently some what seem to be Japanese gentlemen taking photos with like hands on their breasts. And that's inappropriate. And it's the fucking Ghibli Museum. So maybe, who's this guy that they got quoted here? So Omura from the Aichi Prefecture, he's the governor of the prefecture where the park is located, says, frankly speaking, posting photos like that on social media is very inappropriate. From adults to children, people go to Ghibli Park to enter the Ghibli world and enjoy themselves. Clearly, this action disturbed many people. Local authorities have told park staff that they need to firmly stop such actions once spotted and confirmed. For those who come to the park to do this kind of thing, I would much prefer them to not come at all. Of course, we need to take harsher measures against this kind of behavior. This is basically destruction of property. I argue that it is not destruction of property. It is just inappropriate. Really sorry for touching the Lupin statues inappropriately. Mr. Brown says, this is a great way to find out there's a Ghibli park. I mean, there's no such thing as like bad press, but also I totally understand why they're like, hey, fucking cut it out. What are you doing? Don't do this. You gotta stop this shit. Totally reasonable and understandable that they're like, what if you fucking didn't, weirdos? You creeps. Also, you're like, I'm being a creep in a park. I'm going to post this on social media. Feels weird. All right, where's 20? There it is. Very tiny piece here. So that's weird. Opened last year after like doesn't the Global Festival 2023 hit theaters in like 2 weeks? I believe it does, Dirty. Doing that? I believe it does. There are 3 areas to explore. There's the house from Totoro, 2 other spaces, including Mononoke themed forest, are still under construction. Okay, yeah. The Ghibli park seems cool, except for the part where people are touching the statues inappropriately, which is, again, not cool. Yeah, that's just, yeah. Yeah, that's just, this is gross. Gross, seemingly dude behavior. If you pay that much money, you should be able to grind up against Howl. No, John. No. Oh, you meant the Ghibli Festival. Yes, that's what I thought you meant, Dirty. But yes, I believe there is a film festival coming, yes. No, John, can't rub up against anything at a park. Please don't. All right, I have to put a sticker on this gun. It is probably very tiny. Yes, it is this one. Let's get that on there. It's a futuristic gun, so it has a shiny neon part. The scope on this gun held by a robot. It's gotta be a neon green. I do believe, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's any park really, but it happens to be this one because it gets mentioned here because of that. Ghibli is one of the few disappointing parts of my HBO Max sub. I hear you, Mr. Bob. Let's see. Some Russian hackers were threatening Stalker 2 devs, a well-known Ukrainian group of folks. It's one of the least disappointing parts of your HBO Max sub. Okay. Oh, that's the opposite, Mr. Bob. I mean, I'm not super familiar with HBO Go and their offerings, but I know that there's been a rough time lately due to some mergers and acquisitions and such. So I'm glad you're at least getting something out of it. Apparently these hackers... Wow. They hacked Stalker 2 and they were making threats to the Ukrainian developers. In response to them deciding not to localize it in the Russian market. And the hackers asked GSC, the makers of Stalker 2, to rethink your attitude towards players from Belarus and Russia and to apologize for the unworthy attitude towards ordinary players from these countries. And look, be upset with the Russian government, not Russian gamers, is something that I can understand and I can appreciate. I am certainly not in a space to speak to really delve into these issues, certainly, but I can at least understand why you would want to be like, yeah, it's not the players, but no, they shouldn't rethink their attitude towards Russia and Belarus. Like, nah, fuck off. Fans are waiting it from your official company. It is not necessary to spoil the game for people because of politics. And it's like, yeah, it definitely fucking kind of is, man. They have tens of gigabytes worth of data. Also, should be noted that one of the GSC employees has passed away due to fighting against Russia in the Ukraine. So they have certainly, this seems like a weird demands to be made to that company. So yeah, that is certainly something that should be taken into consideration. And I will say this. The developer's statement is in all caps. And I think that's a ball. Forget the note on a black text on a white background bullshit. Yes, you should. If you are being threatened by Russian hackers, you as a Ukrainian company, you should be responding in all caps. That is a fantastic choice that I fully support. Just being like, nah, we're going to respond to this the only way that makes sense, in all fucking caps, about this nonsense that is being spewed at us here. Wait, so this is looking like this. Trying to get this in right here, folks. Pardon me. There we go. Got that in. Then this goes like this. Employees' accounts for collective works with images application was hacked. Responsibility for the claim by community from a Russian social network. They are threatening to use obtained data for blackmail and intimidation. This is not the first attempt to hack and leak our data, including personal information. We are a Ukrainian company, and like most Ukrainians, we have experienced many things that are much more terrifying. Destroyed houses, ruined lives, and the deaths of our loved ones. Attempts to blackmail or intimidate us are completely futile. That rules. That absolutely rules. Despite attempts to break us, we remain strong and courageous, because when you believe in something and love it with all your heart, you have to defend it at all costs. We ask you to refrain, in the event of any leaks, we ask you to refrain from watching or distributing information about Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. Outdated and work in progress materials may dilute the impression of the final idea that we have put into the game. We encourage you to stay patient and wait for the official release for the best experience possible. We believe that you will love it. That's great. It's basically just nah. Oh, also, it does say, glory to Ukraine, sincerely, GSC Game World team. So yeah, apparently they told the hackers, actually no. Let me just put a sticker on here. I see from a new WWE 2K tweet that the new game has online Royal Rumble. That sounds like a nightmare. I bet that doesn't work well. Yes, WWE 2K23 is coming out next week, I believe. I don't think it's this week. Maybe it is this week. Actually, it is the end of this week. I believe it is coming out. I am attempting through legal means to obtain a copy of that game so that I may play it on stream. We will not be doing that. Even if I do get the copy of it, I will not be doing it next Tuesday. Next Tuesday's bonus stream will be Pat Bear's Anime Club Live. That is my live stream where I talk about the season of anime that has just ended, which will be, in this case, the winter 2023 season. And I will look ahead to the spring 2023 season. I like to do those. It's not quite the end of the year, but the way the timing works out, that I was like, oh, this is the best time for me to do that stream. So I will be doing that on a week from tomorrow. Tomorrow's stream, I can tell you, friends, you should check out tomorrow's stream, because I will be playing Persona 4 Golden with mods. We'll talk about the mods. I did this on my subathon at the end of last month. And so we're returning. I do have one new mod since then, which has actually been fairly beneficial. It's a UI the UI controller buttons, and it customizes the buttons depending on what gamepad you've plugged in, which is very helpful to make it a lot easier to play the video game. So I do appreciate that. But there's a bunch of mods, and I'll be playing that tomorrow. And I think it will be a fun stream, and I suggest you come and hang out for it. All right, so that was that sticker. Which one is this sticker? That is this bar here. All right, we are now done with the weapons. We still have the shields to build. Again, why do they have you build the guns and the shields when they don't have arms yet? I don't know. But that's how they decided the build order should be. And I like keeping with the build order. Sometimes I jump around, but I often like to do it the way that they have requested or intended. So yeah, so I got our kit and I got some guns done. Some rifles here. And then we've got 2 different shields. That's right, optional shields that we can build. And we will start working on those shields after our break, our pause for the cause. If you are new here, I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel. All the things I'm about to say are optional. You don't have to do any of this stuff. If you would like to, you're more than welcome to. I would love to have you help out around here, but it is all optional. None of this is required. I'm just going to promote myself for a little bit. Then we'll get back to building. We're going to talk about some manga and some anime in the second hour. John already did it, but yes, if you were a subscriber to the channel, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe into the Tier 2 Blue emote if you're a Tier 2 subscriber. Into there, subscribing is the easiest way to support what I do through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. Tonight we had Dustin use their Prime Gaming token because they have Amazon Prime linked with their Twitch, and they can use that, which is rad. Subscribing is the easiest way to support what I do here through that, or gifting a sub. If you want to gift a sub to somebody in the community, you want to share the love there. Had a lot of gifted subs at the end of February, which was rad. My payout from Twitch this month was fantastic. John just gifted a sub to Lashbrook. That's your 4th gift sub. Thank you so much. Yeah, Lashbrook, it looks like your subscription lapsed there, and now you got a gifted sub, which is rad. We can throw the Bear Cave Lego Scythe emote in the chat there. Thank you, John, for that. Thank you very much for your support. Lashbrook, for whatever reason, you can see your emotes didn't go through. I don't know. You got gifted a sub. I don't know why. Your Prime Gaming must have lapsed, and before you could use it again, you got a gifted sub. So when you can use that that Prime Gaming sub, use it for somebody else, I guess. But enjoy your gifted sub, I guess. I don't know. They showed up for me. They did not show up for me. It just said Pat Bear Cave, Pat Bear Lego, Pat Bear Scythe, Pat Bear Cave. So I don't know. It's Twitch, folks. I'm not going to talk too much more about Twitch. Anyway, I got a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. You could join my Patreon if you would like. There are different tiers, different rewards for the different tiers. It is an alternative way to support me that is not the wide world of Twitch. So you can do that if that's something you like to do. I have a YouTube channel. Lucretia says, lost that sub for a few seconds. I did. My numbers did go down for a moment and then went back up. You could jump over to youtube.com/PatBear. Subscribe. It's free, obviously. And there's a membership. I have memberships there. $2 a month. You get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So because it's Monday, I can tell you that my new video that's coming out on Wednesday, you get to see that a day early. And this one is fun. The new one that's coming out is based on true events. And it is pretty okay, I think. I recorded it today, and I was happy with it. So take a look at that. See if there's something there you'd like. Now, those are monthly ways to support me. There's also one-time donations if you want to do that. And then through my coffee or directly to PayPal or Stream Elements. You can use your credit card on Stream Elements if you want to do that, or your debit card. Everything I make through direct donations, through Twitch, through Patreon, and through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me. All of that goes into a fund, and I take money out of that to buy model kits to build on stream and equipment when that arises. This kit right here was purchased thanks to folks' generosity over the years. I was able to take money out of my funds and pick that up. My camera is autofocusing, and this is so dark that it darkens the camera. That's weird. Anyway, I'm able to buy this kit because of your generosity. I appreciate that very much. Now, if you want to decide what I build next, because I have a backlog of kits, you could always go and just buy a kit off my wish list, and then I'll have to build it on stream. Just go over to my Amazon wish list, see if there's something there you'd like to pick up. There's some Lego sets. There are some model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits. There's a few things that are on sale and are, I would say, actually reasonably priced for being high grades. I have a few new things that I put in there. I love this. So the high grade Turn A Gundam I recently put on my wish list. And it's the Turn A, and for some reason it's listed on Amazon as HGUC Gundam. The question mark Gundam. It's the Turn A. I built the master grade of this. I've never built the high grade version, and the Turn A is a wild kit. So I put that on the wish list, but I loved it. It just says question mark. It's very funny. There's some Pokemon kits, bunch of different things, inexpensive kits, expensive kits. A lovely the Freedom Gundam real grade. One of, if not the only real grade I've never built. That's on there. Expensive stuff, inexpensive stuff, free shipping, Amazon Prime shipping, a bunch of different things. See if there's something there that appeals to you that you'd like to see me build on stream, or some gear at the bottom. That's nice. That's a nice way to support what I do here. Also, I have a Throne wish list. It's nice to have alternatives to the Amazon wish list, so you can always check out what I've got going on Throne. Take a look there. And then, of course, USA Gundam Store. That is an option. You can go to USA Gundam Store, create an account there, buy a gift card, send me a DM on Twitter. My DMs are open, or a whisper here on Twitch, and with a gift card code, and I will buy something from that website. That is my alternative to wish lists, because as far as I know, there's no Gunpla store in America that allows people to go in and buy stuff off your wish list and then have it be sent to you. As far as I know, that doesn't exist. So it's nice to have some options, and that's an option. Let's see. We did that. What else do I want to say? Oh, if you want to support me for free, we'll get back to building in just a moment, folks, but I just got to finish this up. Check out my Discord. It's full of lovely folks that post stuff they're working on. I post build photos at the end of one of my streams. It is a lovely group of folks and a fine little, tiny, pretty chill community. So take a look at that. A couple video links for you to check out, and then we'll get back to building. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I put up a new episode today. Did you know that the 2023 Anime Awards happened? Crunchyroll's annual award show happened not too long ago, and I went through the results. I talked a little bit on stream, but I went through every category, showing the winner and the nominees, and gave my thoughts on, like, it should have been this, or should have been that, or this should have been nominated. And I talked through it. I do mention how the fall 2023 shows were not included, so you don't see Witch from Mercury there. And when you're talking about Spy Family, you're only talking about the first core. Now, that's like, there's some stuff that's missing there, and go through all of that. And then Baerly Rehearsed is an ongoing video series where I promise I have done some rehearsal on this. These characters, I have written a character piece. I am rehearsing it before I hit record, and I'm off book most of the time. Sometimes I'm not. But I think it works out pretty good and pretty funny. This most recent one, I'll have a new one for Wednesday, but the one that's up right now that you can watch is called The Slap. And it is a commentator doing commentary over a slap fight competition, and just kind of a peek into the world of the announcer known as Video James, disgraced esports commentator turned to slap fight commentator, and just kind of a peek into that character. I think it's pretty good. I recommend it. Okay, so we're going to talk about some manga, and then we'll get into some anime talk in a second. I'm also going to drink some water, because that is important. I recommend you all do as well. If that's something you need to do, go get yourself some water or beverage of some sort. Stay hydrated, my friends. and we'll get into some manga talk in just a second. But first, I'm going to dramatically transition to the overhead and drink a little water. Here we go. All right, so we got a head, we got a chest, we got some guns. It's time to move on to the shields. And while I am constructing the first of two shields, because it has two, let's talk about the Savior Messiah, the former hero who saved another world, beats the real world full of monsters. Which is a mouthful title. Is this based on a light novel? You fucking know it's based on a light novel. Of course it's based on a light novel. So what is this thing? Okay, this is a fairly popular new genre, subgenre I should say, in the isekai adventure genre. Isekai means different world if you're unfamiliar. You know, there were books like Alice in Wonderland. Those books inspired novels in Japan, which then later inspired the first generation of isekai, like Slayers, or Fushigi Yugi, or Escaflowne. And then those later inspired, what if we did the harem subgenre of action series, and we just made our character an overpowered main character, also an isekai guy. We'll just do that. And then there have been derivatives on that idea of like, what if this person got reincarnated as a slime, or a vending machine, or an onsen, or a girl, or a lesbian. How about it's a lesbian? Or the Otome game instead of the action world. What if they're inside a video game, inside a dating game? They're now the villainous. Those are all subgenres of that takes on that. And then you also have a new crop of life after isekai. In most instances, you don't see the isekai. You get references, you get a little bit of it, like Uncle from Another World does both of like showing the guy in real life after he wakes up from his coma and then flashing back to events there. That shows more of that. But a lot of these like post isekais are just like, okay, that something happened over there. Now what's going on over here? And I will give this book, I should say, credit for starting with the premise, the former Messiah, because our dude got isekai. He worked so fucking hard. He trained. He was not ready. He fell in love with the princess along the way. She started off pretty tsundere. She came around, just being genuine. It was a nice time. And obviously they were dealing with a lot of shit of like defeating the demon lord and saving that world. And he did his best to help her and to do what he could. And then the thing that happens to some heroes happened to him, which is he finished. And then people were like, hey, you're fucking strong enough to defeat the demon lord. That's terrifying. And Takaru, our main guy, got executed because they were scared of him, and he allowed it to happen. I mean, there were some shenanigans to make him weak enough that they were able to do it, but they succeeded. And that is not the end of the story, because then he wakes up back in the world in Japan, where he lived in a different body. A kid has died, and he has resumed that kid's life, which is, of course, fucked up. I need D1 here. So he now taking over this kid's life, and here's the deal. There are also monsters. There are also a ton of fucking monsters in this world. This world is not immune to there just being fucking monsters all over the goddamn place, and he is having to deal with that shit. And the decision he makes is, well, I am just going to not do anything. I don't care. I have these powers, but it doesn't really matter because everything is like kind of fucked up otherwise, and I'm just going to keep my head down because last time people found out how strong I was, and it changed how they felt about me, and it did lead to my fucking death. But then immediately, this guy's parents, and he feels it, like, even though he doesn't really know them, he knows that this body loves them and loved them. So he's just like, oh, you're not hurting these people. And turns out our guy is very strong. So demons show up from gates and he fights them. And then for the chapters that I have read here, he mostly tries to keep people from fucking knowing his identity. He tries to like keep it on the DL and save people. He's got to deal with like the bullies that were picking on the former version of him. And him doing like, oh, okay, yeah, this body probably was tormented by these guys. Well, that's not going to happen anymore, but I also kind of need to keep low key, because there's a whole, like, Hunters Association, and there's a girl that's desperate to find him, and she is fairly understood that, like, hey, I'm strong, and I will help out, but I do not want to be famous or known. I want to live my life. That is important to me. Living my life is way more important than, like, service to this country or whatever. So she's going to protect him and try to protect his secret, but then other people are figuring shit out. And I am sure there's more to this. I don't know why he has been isekai'd back. We know why he got sent there. We don't know why he came back and, took over this body. But I am sure there's more going on. Or why Japan suddenly has monsters. Is this actually the world that he died in, or that he was taken away from? Is this the Japan that he knows? Was he sent to an alternate Japan? I don't know. Is this a good manga? I think it's totally good. I wouldn't say great. I would say that it is a totally acceptable piece of media. I would say, like, you could do a whole fucking lot worse. I've read so much worse than this. So I think it is totally worth taking a look at. If you like action series, if you like an overpowered main character, if you like the goofiness of trying to hide your identity, and people like kind of figuring shit out pretty easily, I think it is a solid series. And yeah, totally worth taking a look at. That's the Savior Messiah, the former hero who saved another world, beats the real world full of monsters. Yeah. I would describe it as fine. And sometimes that's all you need. Look, sometimes you do want to read something that's great, that's just like unbelievably good. And sometimes you just want to read stuff that's like totally okay. You don't need it to be great. You just need it to be in front of you. All right, so I talked about that. The next thing we will chat about is some anime. We're going to talk about some anime. So put that in there. Let's see. We got two shows to talk about here. Buddy Daddies and Handyman, Saitou in Another World. So this episode of Buddy Daddies, it's weird that it's like episode 9 because we're getting close to the end of the season. And it's weird to have like such a lovely, cute episode. But hey, guess what? We got a lovely, cute fucking episode on our hands here. If you're unfamiliar with Buddy Daddies, it's like... how do I describe... Oh, sorry. Buddy Daddies is like a not-so-queer version of... like, we have Spy Family at home, but it's still good. Even if it's not as good as Spy Family, which we hard to do because Spy Family fucking owns. It's still good. It is still a good series about two roommates who, look, I'll say this. This is an original anime. It could turn out that they are in a relationship. As far as I know, at this point, these are legitimately just two dudes that live together and are co-workers. And as far as I know, there is no romance. There's been no romance suggested. Certainly it raised some eyebrows, but no. And they have their own troubled backstories. They have, in the course of doing an assassination, have adopted a young girl named Miri, and they're trying to adjust to a life where they are looking after Miri and looking and trying to take care of Miri and dealing with shenanigans that arise there, while still trying to also do their jobs, which has been a rough bit of business to try to juggle all of that. It is, I would say, pretty fucking good. This episode was mostly about Miri and also Ray. It was a bit about Ray. Miri trains to win at her daycare. So yeah, which is a sports event. Guess what, folks? We got ourselves a school festival thing. Even though it's daycare, there's still a sports event that Miri has to train for. So we're still getting the sports event mini arc. Ray sneaks onto the field for an unknown reason. We don't know why Ray was there. We learn pretty quickly. He's also made rice balls to add to the picnic that Kazuki has made. Kazuki, who had been married previously and was expecting to be a father, but unfortunately that took a tragic turn. He has definitely been more of the father figure in this, taking the lead as the homemaker a bit more. So he's shocked. Everyone's kind of shocked that Ray is doing that, including the fact that the thing he did was he wanted to have a really good spot to watch their daughter, the girl, Miri, in the sports event. So he basically booby trapped the prime spot so that no one else could take it. So that was his shenanigans. That is why he snuck onto the field, was to set up the perfect place so no one would take it. Ray gets to see how popular Kazuki is with the other parents, and that, apparently they are both attracting the attention of these young ladies, these moms. There's some events. Ray doesn't quite understand what's going on there because he was not raised. He was raised in assassin's family. So he was not raised in public school. Not quite sure what's going on with a lot of these events. Ray's rice balls are really popular because he puts sweets and snacks in them. So he suddenly gotten pretty popular. And then the goofiest shit happens. Ray, who is pretty stoic, he seems loving, but he's definitely kind of stoic. He starts fucking cheering for Miri during a race. That this is the thing she's been training for. And it shocks Miri to hear Ray's voice so loudly and clearly that she trips and falls and comes in last. But don't worry. Ray blames himself because there's a scavenger hunt and Miri chooses Ray as her item and she wins a gold medal. And then the item that she was supposed to find just said family on it. And she went to Ray for it. And then Kazuki cries. And it's fucking... God damn it, y'all. This show about two assassins that end up adopting a girl is just unbelievably sweet and wonderful. And so cute. It's so good. And it was just a lovely scene. And we know that shit's about to get pretty bad soon because their contact, their underling boss, has retrieved photos of Ray with Kazuki and Miri for Ray's father. Ray's father wants him to take over the family business, which Ray does not want to do, and it has caused a lot of strife. And most likely his business partner and roommate and their not technically really adopted daughter is going to lead to some problems. It's gonna get bad. All right, so we built both shields, the kind of traditional shield for a Gundam series, and then a non-standard shield that I think looks cool and different. We have built both of those, and we'll be able to put them on the kit at some point when this kit has arms. Again, weird to me that they make you do the weapons and the shields first. All right, so now we're going to do we're going to get started on one of the arms while we talk about Handyman Saitou in Another World. The brief overview of this show is a dude got isekai'd. Later in the series, we find out fucking why, and it's not like for any grand purpose. It was ostensibly an accident. Let's see. So we need... Alright, this is D20. We need some D and B to work on this hand here, or arm, I should say. So D23. Alright. Saitou is just a handyman. He doesn't have any special powers in this world, but he does have, like, he's the unique person that, like, knows how to lockpick. And he knows a bunch of, like, healing stuff. He's a quick study. He learns, like, medicines, and he has his ability to, like, fix things and do maintenance, and he finds his worth there. He says in the previous episode, I don't really want to go back. I want to be where I'm needed, and I'm clearly needed here. Meanwhile, it's very fucking clear that Ralza, who is she dons a helmet most of the time, but she's a knight. She is clearly in love with Saitou. And a big portion of this episode is her adopted father, Morlock, the old wizard who we found out is the guy that inadvertently, accidentally summoned Saitou to this world. He's just like, hey, you're now part of my family because you and my daughter are an item. She's my adopted daughter, but she's still my daughter. That means that you are my future son-in-law. So, like, you're also under my protection. You are now part of my family. Which is like, kind of not maybe like something she should have said, because she did say about how she felt about him, but he didn't quite pick it up. Now he's starting to really understand. They're like, oh, okay. All right, this is serious. This is for real. Also, she shows in her love language, which is constantly saving his fucking life and saving everybody's life, because they are fighting some demons in this situation. I should also say that a big element of this episode is 2 episodes ago, Morlock fucking died. And then he got resurrected. But the resurrection isn't complete because part of his body got stolen. Until he gets reunited with that part of his body, he is definitely in trouble. Is this right? Did I do this right? No. This is not right. This should be different. Okay. Sorry, this is the part where I really analyze every little thing about putting this together because I don't want to fuck it up, and I think I definitely did put this bottom piece on wrong. So I have to part separate here. I'm going to use the part separator. But yeah, the other arm, as always, folks, the other arm will go together a lot smoother because I will have done this process already. I will already fucked up. So hopefully when I do the other one, I won't fuck it up as much. So last week I didn't tell you what the thing was that I told you that Morlock was like had a missing body part. Okay, so it's supposed to go like this. But I didn't say what body part it was. It's his dick. A demon dog stole the man's dick off his corpse before he got resurrected. And so they're fighting demons to get his dick back because he won't fully be resurrected until his full body is back. So they got to go ahead and get that man's dick. The series is weird. It is a good, weird series. That sounds like what Demon Dog would do. Exactly. A Demon Dog's just doing what they got to do. Also, the demons, a lot of demons they fought here are like weird manifestations of hands. They're demon hands. And this is 2 demon hands that have locked together to kind of form a humanoid-like figure. It's hard to describe. But basically, one of the things they mentioned in this episode that I think is fucking fantastic is they're like, well, we have 2 mouths, so we can do complex spells better. But, guess what? Once Morlock gets his dick back and is full human again, he is now temporarily, possibly, um, back to his full strength because he has seemingly most of his memories back. So it looks like he can do some fantastic stuff because he like kicks the ass of those demons. It is one of the best episodes like for fighting. It looks so good. The whole episode is just so well done. Handyman Saitou like has its comedy moments, has its low moments, but like this is all just like driving action. There's like a lot of things that feel like saving throws. Like this is the most like D&D ish like adventure isekai I've seen in a while. It really does feel like it's got like it does. It feels like it has its roots in pen and paper more so than some of the other fantasy series because those seem like they're inspired by fantasy like games rather than like the pen and paper type. That's just my opinion on it. But in general, it's just really good. It looks like we might actually get Saitou and Raelza like having a conversation about their feelings, like a genuine one, in the next couple episodes, which would be great. Also, we get to see like Saitou use some of the knowledge he's picked up to benefit his friend, and Raelza just like whoop ass and be super strong and competent to protect her family and party, and it's just like a bunch of nonsense. Yeah, it's like her love language is like defeating monsters and protecting the guy that she likes, and his love language is helping out and remembering spells and understanding what is expected of him. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just really good shit. This episode looked great and just was a pleasure to watch. So that is Handyman Saitou in Another World, which is one of my favorite shows this season. For a manga I kind of bounced off of because the manga was like mostly like short little stories and didn't really like hit the way that like it just never, I don't know, it's cozy, but I hadn't gotten like to the part where it started to get dramatic. I only knew the cozy parts. So now that I've gotten some drama to go in there, it's really picked up as a lovely series and one of my favorites this season. So yeah, I mean both those shows I think are good for different reasons. Buddy Daddies is good if you're missing Spy Family and you want a little something that's not the same but similar. And Handyman Saitou is just a fucking good one of those isekais. It's a good isekai. This season had a fuck ton of isekai, and I'm watching. How many isekai am I watching? Let me look at my list of the ones that I'm watching every single week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm watching 5 weekly, and then I'm getting caught up on which just ended, or there might be one more episode, I think. Welcome to Demon School Irmakun. So that's another one. Yeah, I think so I think I'm watching like actively watching 6, and there were a couple that I just stopped watching. I might get caught up on a few. The Exorcist one, I might go back to. Reborn is a reincarnation. Reborn of the Master of the Sword. It's not an isekai, but it's a reincarnation series. Because the worlds are very similar, so I didn't include that one on the list. But yeah, I mean, I'm watching most isekai that's out this season. I didn't watch Eminence in Shadow. I have been told that Eminence in Shadow actually like has something to say and might be worth my time, but everything I've seen of it made me go, no, thanks. So didn't end up picking up that one. There's so much good anime out there, I can afford to miss out on one of the good ones. If there's one that like actually would be interesting to watch, I could totally avoid that. All right, now this is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching? What are you playing? What are you like excited about? What's got you going? You know, if there's any TV shows you're watching, any movies, any anime, if you're playing any video games, I want to hear from you. Usual Suspects. I'm trying to get farther in Persona 4 Golden. I'll be playing some of that tomorrow before the stream. I played some of that today. I might play some of that tonight after this stream. I have just been trying to... oops, I should have put this on before I pop this on. I'm just trying to get, like, at least to the point where Yuki's on the team, because we saved Yuki at the end of the last time that I streamed it. And I want to just, like, get forward in the plot some. I also wanted to, like, have a, like, I don't know, do a few things in there, show off the different mods. So we would need to get a little farther in the game so I can start showing off some various shenanigans with the, like, social links and such. I do want to try to fish. That's what I'd love to be able to show the fishing thing, because I have a mod to make fishing easier. I have not tried that mod out yet, so I would like to do that. So I will probably end up putting a couple more, an hour or so on that tonight, and then while Jeff Gersman is podcasting tomorrow, because I usually hang out for that stream and mod, I will probably, if there are enough people there during it, I will probably just not mod and instead listen while I play the game, turn the volume down low, and just listen to Jeff talk while I then get into it. That's my plan anyway. So that tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, when I check out Persona 4 Golden with mods, you can all come and hang out with me while I do that. And I will be farther in the game than I was previously, so I can show off some of that good mod stuff. Lord Crasher says, been watching more Naruto Shippuden while they're showing off all the teams getting ready for the war. Lots of good flashback stuff. Yes, the war prep takes a long time, but, like, it's still some good shit in there. Arctic Slaw says, started Yakuza 4, or Yakuza 4 started off pretty strong. Also trying to get a feel whether or not I'll stick with Wulong. Yeah, I mean, like, Wulong is not necessarily, like, the kind of game. The gameplay itself is kind of not my jam, but I do think it looks like a neat one of those. So I can understand why some people would be, like, all in to try it out, even if it doesn't, like, feel like it's necessarily something I want to be a part of or get into. Yeah, all right. I try to put some marker on this, and that's unnecessary. It's just too dark of plastic for markers. The markers I have doesn't make any sense. And then we should start on the other arm. I'm actually gonna. I said I didn't skip ahead. I am gonna skip ahead a little bit here because I want to assemble. I want to assemble the hand that has a gun on it. I want to do that. I'm going to assemble a hand around one of the guns. It could be either one. We'll do around this gun. I just want to get one of the hands done because we have some time left on stream. Lashbrick says, trying to play Paradise Killer before it leaves Game Pass. That's always a good reason to check out a game, is because, like, if you just want to get into it while you can. Totally understand that. But instead of doing the plot, I'm mostly just getting collectibles instead. Hell yeah, Lashbrook. Follow your bliss, my friend. If that is the way you want to play that game, if you just want to, like, get in on the collectibles, you should get in on the collectibles. Arctic Saw says, I like playing Wulong. I just might have to change the audio language because the English VO is painful to listen to. That does fucking happen, my friend. That can happen. That can and will happen. You will run into that problem in the future. I am sure that is not a fixed problem, where sometimes they're going for something with the VO, and that something is accidentally hilarious. Unintentionally funny is not necessarily the best way to enjoy a video game voiceover, but it happens. It is, again, pretty unfortunate. All right, so we got to do this. Put this through the hand here. We're going to see this hand like that. And then got to pop this in like this. All right, hand has been assembled. We just have to put the armor on, color matching armor. And then we have a hand done here. Then we can pop that in. Wait, that doesn't. This. Oh, it's got to go like that. Okay. Great. Now we got a head, an arm, and a gun. We have done something. And then we still have these left as well. We still have the other arm to build, and then the feet, and the legs, and the waist, and the backpack. I don't think we're going to finish this kit on Thursday, but we might finish this kit on Thursday. I don't fucking know. It's coming together pretty fast. Like I said, the legs could be more complicated. We still got plenty of sprue stuff left, and the backpack isn't that bad. There's still plenty of stickers to put together. And then also, we do have the just the clear backing stickers that we do have to put on as well. So I do think this will actually get wrapped up on Saturday. That's my guess. Looking at the release calendar, and I guess the next big thing for me is RE4 Remake. That's coming out. The next one for me, again, my goal is to get a copy of WWE 2K23. I will have the end of the month. I'll play 22 if the CPU versus CPU matches, and you know I'll do it in 22 because I want to keep doing that. But I feel like people are gonna stop making new characters for 23 too because they're gonna move on to 23. So at some point I have to get that game. I have feelers out to get a copy of that game, and so I'm seeing if that happens, and I'll let you know if it does. But people are putting the word out there trying to get me a copy of that game for coverage purposes, so that would be really good because I know that I enjoy it. You know, some of y'all seem to like it too. Anyway, that is going to do it for tonight's stream. I'm going to take a photo of this because it is nice to take a photo of my progress here. We got a lot done today on this kit. We started from scratch here, and we now have two shields, the chest, the head, an arm, and a couple weapons. Done. Dark background, or dark kit, so I got to do it on the white background. Anyway, let's go ahead and get ready to raid, because we had a lovely raid tonight. We got to share the love. We always end with a raid, though, as John said there. So we're going to find someone cool out there to go give a little bit of love to. Somebody that's doing some cool shit. We will go hang out with them, especially because, you know, people came by Rara's stream, which was really kind of people to stick around. And then, of course, the regulars are here, my usuals of the Bear Cave. So we do want to send you off with somebody. And it's Monday, so, like, Mary Kish is playing a video game. We're going to raid Mary Kish. Like, we're not even going to pretend like it'd be somebody else. Mary streams on Mondays. She's streaming after we're done. Mary rules. We're going to go raid Mary. Like, case closed, my friends. She's playing a game called Webbed, which I guess is on Game Pass. It appears to be a platformer, according to the tags. I do not know anything about Webbed. I just know that Mary rules, and we're going to go hang out with her. Merry Mondays, indeed. It's Manga Mondays and Merry Mondays. So please come along on this raid. Mary's community is fantastic. She's rad. If you don't know Mary Kish, get to know her. She's lovely. Great community. And just like checks out a lot of games. Is a Twitch employee. Do not ask her questions about her job or other departments within her job. Because that's not. She's here to just hang out. So be cool. Thanks everybody for being here. Hope you have a great rest of your night. Please come back tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern for Persona 4 Golden with mods. And thanks for being here, and I'll see you again. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.